You're listening to the Balanced Educator Podcast, episode number 31.
Welcome to the Balanced Educator. We're your hosts, Kaylee
and Josiane from EduCalm. Our intention is to equip and empower you to feel more calm, balanced, and joyful in all aspects of your life.
Hello there, and welcome to the Balanced Educator Podcast. If you're new to the show, welcome. We're so excited to have you here, and we invite you to subscribe so that you can get our episodes every Monday when they come out to help you get started with a great intentional start to your week. And if you listen every week, or maybe you're binge listening, welcome back. So excited to share some time with you today. All right, so this week on the show, we are talking about how to have an intentional start to the school year. School is getting started here in Canada, or maybe it's already started where you are listening from. But as we get the year rolling, we want to help you to really plan for an intentional start so that you can have your best year yet. And before we dive into this episode, we want to share with you that we have an upcoming free online workshop that we're offering. And it is called Teachers Say Goodbye to Meltdowns, Say Hello to Self-Regulation. 5 steps to starting a mindfulness practice in your classroom with success. So in this workshop, we are going to be helping you to really make this start of the school year easy and give you the tools to have a really mindful year with a daily mindfulness practice. We'll guide you through all 5 steps to make sure that you've covered all your bases before you start this in the classroom. If this sounds exciting for you, then you can register for one of our times. We have 3 times to choose from. We have 2 this week on Wednesday and 1 next week on Thursday. You can register at www.educalm.com/workshop. EduCalm is spelled EduCalme.
Let's get started.
All right.
So, Kaylee, how can we have an intentional start to our school year?
Well, I think it really starts with deciding what your core goals or your core values are going to be for the year. Because as teachers, we have a million things flying at us, and most of us want to try to do it all.
And lots of bandwagons.
Yes.
To jump on.
So many bandwagons. And the reality is that we just don't have infinite hours in the day, and we don't have infinite energy. So it can really help to decide what your goals are for this year, so that you can really intentionally choose what you're saying yes to and what you're saying no to. And that's both saying yes and no to things that you come up with, your own ideas, and what colleagues or other people are asking of you. So, the after school programs or the lunchtime things or all those extras that we add into our day. And you just want to say yes to everything because you care about about your students and your colleagues, and you just want to do it all. But we have to make sure that we're intentional about that.
And this is a process that we have been going through with EduCalm in our business. It's been a year now, like almost officially in the next couple of days, that we launched our website and we were ready to go. And we have been taking a look back at the past year and realizing that we said yes to everything last year, and that we need to start being more intentional. Although it was a good thing because we were so new as a business, it's time now to choose some concrete goals and go from there. So we have been working on that this week and the last week before that. What did it look like for us to do this goal setting, Kaylee?
So it started off with us really taking a moment to kind of imagine and talk about and visualize what our ideal year would be. Like if we can imagine at the end of this year, like what is the impact we want to have in the educational community? What does that look like? What are we doing every day? What is our role? How are we contributing? And then from kind of this idea of what we want it to look like in the end, we decided, okay, what are going to be just 3 things? I know we want to choose 10 things to work on, but we're just going to choose 3 things and we're going to really focus in on those 3 things. And that means that all the decisions we make, everything we decide to spend our time on, we have to make sure is going to contribute to one of these 3 things. Now, I really love someone, I don't know where I heard this, but someone said, every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. So if we're saying yes to something that isn't part of our 3 big goals, it means we're saying no to those 3 big goals, right? Because we have to choose how we're spending our time. So even if something seems really exciting and fun, we have to make sure that what we're saying yes to is contributing to those 3 things.
And unfortunately, we don't have like 1 million hours a day.
Yeah.
So we have to make choices.
Yeah. Yeah. And use our time in the way that really contributes to our values and the contribution we want to have for you guys and the things that we want to create for you and the way that we want to show up for you. So what were our 3 goals?
So our first goal was to grow our podcast audience.
Yes.
Why did we choose that?
Well, we are coming up with this free content for you guys every single week, and we absolutely love connecting with you in this way. And we just want to be able to support more educators, more parents, more people that can benefit from this message that we're sharing. And so it's really important for us to grow the audience so that more people are benefiting from it. So from that goal, we came up with a series of smaller goals of how exactly we're going to do that.
Yeah, basically tasks that we are going to do throughout the year to ensure that we meet this goal.
Exactly. So, telling more people about the podcast, making sure that we're intentionally, when we go to conferences, when we go to do presentations in schools, that we're really making sure that we tell the people that we're interacting with that we have a podcast that gives them free content every week.
And you guys can help us with that right now by sharing the podcast.
Yes, it's really easy to share the podcast. So if there's an episode that you really like, right from that episode on iTunes that you're listening to on your phone probably right now, the bottom right-hand corner, there's 3 little dots. Just click on that and it'll give you the option to share. And you just simply send it as a text or an email or whatever. And, even if you don't know if the person on the other end is going to want to listen to it, you can share it and then it's up to them to decide whether they want to listen or not.
And we appreciate that you do that for us. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much.
Okay, so goal number 2 for us was to grow our mailing list.
Yeah. So again, every week we're sending out free content and information on how to implement mindfulness into your own life and then how to share it with the kiddos in your life. And fairly often we also include some freebies. So the reason behind why we have a mailing list is to support teachers, is to give them resources that are going to help them in the classroom. And by us supporting teachers, we are then supporting all their students.
Yes.
So that's a way that we can make a really big impact in the education system is by starting with the teachers.
And we are helping to create calmer classrooms for students to develop self-regulation, self-awareness, growth mindset, all of those really important things around mental health and social emotional development. And we need to see more of that. We want to see more of that, which is why we want to grow our mailing list.
Exactly. So if you guys want to help us out with that, or if you want to get onto our mailing list, you aren't on there yet, then just simply go to www.educalm.com/the-balanced-educator. Now that's our library of free resources. So when you enroll in that for free, you get a whole bunch of awesome resources. Plus we add you to our mailing list. So every Monday you'll get some awesome information that will hopefully help you get a great start to the week and
Happy Mindset Monday.
Yes, that is what we call our emails because we want to help you start the week with a happy mindset. And what's our third goal?
Our third goal is to develop our EduCalm Classroom subscription and to make it known more.
Exactly.
Was that said well? Yeah. That was. I tend to speak in French and English sometimes. Like I say the words all backwards. So
we actually have a couple people that asked us to do some episodes in French. So if that's something that you're interested in, let us know. You can email us bonjour@educalm.com or connect with us on Instagram @educalm and just let us know if you'd like to hear some bonus episodes. So we'd still do the English episode, but if you want to hear some bonus episodes in French to hear what we sound like when we're speaking in French, then you can then just let us know. Maybe we'll do that for you guys. So anyway, EduCalm Classroom is our resource for teachers that is just plug and play. You log in and all the mindfulness practices for an entire year are ready for you. You don't need to be an expert in mindfulness to practice this in your classroom. You don't need to know, in fact, anything about mindfulness because we teach it to you and your students through our online platform of guided audio mindfulness practices, lesson plans, reflection activities for students, posters, projects, all sorts of stuff that you can use throughout the year to create a calm, caring, compassionate classroom atmosphere full of children that are self-aware and are able to self-regulate. So if this is something that interests you or something that you would like to share with someone that you think would be interested, go to educalm.com/classroom and you can get more information there. So lots of information about our 3 big goals. And the reason we share this with you partially is to, share what our goals actually are, but partially just to share the importance of setting kind of your boundaries and what it is that you're going to be focusing on in this intentional year. So maybe take a second right now and think about it. What would be if you could have, the perfect year this year? What do you want to your classroom to look like at the end of the year?
What's the big picture? Basically, zoom out and think, what do I want to see by the end of the year? What do I want to see this year in my classroom?
What transformation do I want to see in my students?
I like that word.
Yeah. And then from there, once you kind of know what that big picture is, then come up with 3 things that are going to help you to create that vision.
Yeah.
We're pausing so you guys can actually think. And then once you've chosen your 3 main goals, you can break them down into smaller actionable items. So say, for example, you want a more compassionate classroom. Okay, well, what are going to be the things that I talk about, the things that I share, the things that I teach every day, every week, every month that are going to slowly and over time bring my students to getting to that final outcome?
Now, when we picked our goals and then we broke down the small tasks that we were going to do to achieve these goals, we actually, and you might have seen it in one of our Instagram stories, we actually laid out calendars and we actually wrote it down when we were going to do what. Or if it was something that was more like we need to just check in, have I been doing this? So we wrote that down as reminders.
Yeah. And teachers we're very good at planning, right? That's something that we learn how to do.
Post-it notes.
Yeah. So essentially what we did was we looked at we looked at our long-term planning, kind of like you would do okay, what months am I teaching each unit this year? And then broken down into little lessons. That's exactly what we did for ourselves and our goals. So we looked at the whole year. Okay, our long-term plan is, then what are the lessons we're going to do along the way to make that happen? Or what are the practices or what are the mindsets, whatever that is. So you guys will probably be really great at this.
Yeah, so fun. We love planning. Oh. Like when we get together, we're like, yes, we're together. We get to plan.
Yeah. Post-it notes and
every color of the rainbow.
Yeah. And every marker color-coded. Oh, so fun.
We love it. Oh my God. Nerd alert.
Oh, totally. Okay. So as we're being intentional with the year, we want to have these goals that we set so that we know where we are headed. Now, the next thing we can start talking about is what sort of habits do we want to have in our life that are going to be sort of our daily things that we do that contribute to the goals that we have for ourselves. So that can be things around our personal self-care. It can be things around our health, our mental health, our physical health, and deciding how that's going to fit into your day.
Can you tell me what's a habit? Can you define that for me, please?
Yes, absolutely. So a habit is just something that you have consciously chosen to do so many times that your brain has wired for this thing. So when we're creating a new habit, and we go really deep into this in our EduCalm teacher course that we're running right now, but the way that the brain works is that once it notices that there's something that we do over and over and over again, it goes, okay, it's not worth using energy to think about this thing so much now. I'm just going to make it automatic to free up space in your mind to pay attention to other things. So for example, when you are brushing your teeth, at this point, it's probably just an automatic habit. It's part of your day and you don't even really have to remember to brush your teeth. It just happens, right? So that's because you've done it so many times that it becomes an automatic programming in your brain. So when we create new habits, what we have to do is do it at the same time in the same way over and over and over until one day you wake up and you're like, oh, I just did that thing without really thinking. So it has to be intentional and conscious for a while. And then the beauty of it, and thank you, brain, for doing this, our brain just makes it automatic, and we don't have to think about it anymore. So that is what we're trying to create when we're doing our intentional year. What are the habits that are going to support me throughout the year? So maybe for you, that would be a guided mindfulness practice for yourself. Maybe that's exercising. Maybe that's making healthy lunches. Now, when we create a habit, as I said, it's really important that we do it at the same time as we are making the new habit, because the more consistent we can be with the timing, if we're always doing it at the same time in the same sequence, then our brain catches on really quick and goes, oh, okay, this is something we do all the time. Let's just make it automatic. So, Joe, what would be an example of a healthy habit that you want to create this year?
So one thing that I used to be a habit, actually, that I've kind of fallen off, like I do it sporadically, is the gratitude journal. And I would love to get back on it, like every day, because it feels so good.
It does. So I just said that it really helps our brain to make a new habit when we do it at the same time in kind of like the same sequence every day. So what time are you going to do your gratitude journal?
So I think what will work for me is after, like I always do my meditation in the morning and just to journal right after my meditation. And I'm thinking like I was at a point where I was writing like pages and pages, and maybe just to go back to kind of a couple point form things.
Yeah.
So I still do it here and there, but I'd like for it to be an everyday thing again.
Yeah.
So I'm committing now.
Awesome. I love it. Joe's new healthy habit, getting back to gratitude journaling every single morning right after her meditation before she starts her day.
Yeah. And start simple.
Yes.
So that it doesn't feel like it takes up too much time.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to fall off.
That's perfect. And when we're starting new habits, that's also so important. Like, keep it simple.
Yeah.
If you make this mountain to climb, your brain is going to give you a zillion reasons and excuses why you don't have time or it's not important.
Yes. Actually, when I started wanting to run on a regular basis, it's like I would do it for a while and then I would stop for a while and then I would get back into it. But when I wanted to make it a habit again, I would tell myself, okay, you're just going to put your running shoes on in the morning. That's it. That's all you're going to do. And of course, every single day I would end up going for a run, but it seemed so much more overwhelming to be like, I'm going to wake up in the morning, put my clothes on, put my running shoes on, and go for the run.
Yeah.
And then stretch after, right? So instead, I just told myself, okay, every morning I'm going to put my running shoes on. And of course, it becomes a habit.
That's so good. That's actually, they call it the linchpin habit. So it's the small habit that brings you to the big habit. So I did that when I was starting a mindfulness practice. I decided that I would wake up, brush my teeth, do my meditation, my mindfulness practice, and then I would have my coffee. So the linchpin habit was something that I already had as a habit.
Which was drinking the coffee.
Which was, well, the brushing the teeth.
Oh, the brushing of the, duh.
But I sandwiched it between the brushing the teeth and the coffee just because if I did it after the coffee, it would be too easy for me to be like, I don't have time. I need to get dressed now and I need to get ready for my day. But if I do it between two things that are already important to me and already part of my routine, then it was just a lot easier to develop that habit that way. So that really worked for me.
Yeah. Yeah. So now we've talked a lot about how to do goal setting for ourselves or intention setting and also forming habits. Now, this is something that we need to do in the classroom too at the beginning of the year, especially that first month, right? Where it's like very critical to start the year off with good habits. So how can we translate everything we talked about today into the classroom this year?
Well, luckily we thought of this and how we can support you guys into creating these good habits. So if your goals for your classroom this year center around things like mental health, improved classroom management, social emotional development, having a calm classroom, having compassion in your classroom, having self-awareness and self-regulation, teaching those things to your students. If any of those are your goals for this year, then we've created a free online workshop for you. It's called Say Goodbye to Meltdowns and Say Hello to Self-Regulation. 5 steps to starting a mindfulness practice in your classroom with success. So we're going to walk you through all the steps for creating this daily habit in your classroom as part of your daily classroom routine. A 5-minute practice is all it takes for you to see major transformations in your students.
And we're going to give you the tools so that you can talk to your admin about doing this and talk to the parents about doing this and to have the right vocabulary and to present it in a way that will be easy for you.
Exactly. Yeah. A lot of the teachers that say that the hurdles they have to starting a classroom mindfulness practice is just this starting point of like, how do I talk to admin?
Get going?
Where do I start? So we're going to make that so easy for you guys. We're going to basically do it for you. So
we are actually going to do it for you.
Yeah. So our workshops, we have 3 times for you to choose from. August 29th at noon Central Standard Time. And also on August 29th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And then the following week, September 6th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So you can come to one or all if you'd like. But the fun thing too about this workshop is we'll be presenting the content. We'll be giving you some freebies to take away to make this mindfulness practice in the classroom really easy. And we're also going to have a Q&A at the end. So if you have any questions about getting started with your school year from an intentional standpoint and really getting a great start to the year, then we will answer those questions for you.
And did we said it was live, right?
Yes.
It's live. It's a live online workshop.
Yeah, exactly. So
I can't wait to see you there.
Yeah. So fun. So if you want to register for this, super easy. Just go to www.educalm.com/workshop. Educalm is spelled EDUCALME. So that's www.educalm.com/workshop.
Now, what is this week's exit slip? Exit ticket. I'm like, wait, that doesn't sound right. Again, I'm just going to blame that on the French.
What is it en français?
Our billet de sortie.
There we go. Now you guys got to hear Josiane speak with a beautiful French accent. So your billet de sortie aujourd'hui, today, is to go and register for the workshop. And second one, you 2 steps here, guys. Second one is to share this episode with anyone that you think would benefit from it. Super easy to share the episode from your iTunes app that you're currently using to listen. You just press on the 3 little buttons and choose share, and share it with someone that wants to hear this information and probably would enjoy our free workshop as well.
Thank you for doing that in advance. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your time with us. We will see you again, hear you again every week. I don't know what to say. We will talk to you again next week on the Balanced Educator Podcast.
Bye. See you next week.
Hey there, Balanced Educator. We appreciate you and the work that you're doing in the world. We are here to support you, so we've created a free resource library for you to use anytime you want. Resources for mindfulness for you and your kiddos at home or in the classroom. You can get these free resources by going to www.educalm.com/The Balanced Educator. Again, that's www.educalm, that's spelled educalme.com/The Balanced Educator. Thank you for being a part of our EduCalm community.